Today's financial advice is sponsored by Endeavor Private Wealth. Well, Brady Franklin, partner at Endeavor Private Wealth, is joining us for our weekly segment, Investing. Brady, good morning.
Good morning.
So today, let's talk smartphones. Smartphones have ambiguous influence on our daily lives, for good and occasionally not so good. They keep us connected, informed, entertained, and they enable us to shop for just about anything at any time. And I believe that also applies to buying and selling investments. What's your opinion as to the benefits and possible risks of utilizing mobile investment trading apps?
Mobile trading apps have certainly increased accessibility to investment markets for many retail investors. And while features and services may differ among the significant number of choices available to investors, the apps facilitate fast execution of buy or sell orders and may also provide access to a range of investment products, from traditional stocks and mutual funds to more nuanced investments such as options and derivatives, commodities and initial public offerings, and cryptocurrencies. Real-time and live market information, instant notifications and price alerts, online chat services, and 24/7 support. And they do this at very low or often no fee or commission on the trades because the technology allows them to cut out the middlemen, the brokers who formerly carried out the trading.
And all that sounds really good, but there's the old adage, you know, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Are these mobile investing apps too good to be true?
What concerns me is not the technology, but how investors utilize the power of the technology, which is literally at their fingertips. Are smartphone investors more likely to buy risky assets using a mobile trading app compared to other investors who use offline trading methods? Are smartphone traders more likely to buy speculative or attention-grabbing assets around which may be a lot of buzz, but not a lot of investment merit? Are smartphone investors more likely to own fewer investments and perhaps becoming under-diversified, which could expose them to more investment risk?
I see how these could be potential problems for mobile trading app users, especially younger investment inexperienced but tech-savvy investors.
Yes, it's certainly an issue for people with less investment experience and skill. However, even older and experienced investors may be susceptible to the instant gratification effect of mobile app trading. They may have a hard time imposing the degree of self-control and investment discipline typically associated with successful long-term trading and investing.
And I know there are some people who have gone from convenient shoppers on mobile apps to compulsive shoppers. And I guess that could happen with whatever they like to buy, including different types of investments. If this becomes a problem, or perhaps before it becomes one, what can people do?
One thing to do to counteract the immediate gratification we get from using our smartphones is to slow down the process. Behavioral economists refer to this as creating friction. Friction apps are available that cause a short time lag when opening another app or before the buy or sell button is activated. The delay can be as short as 15 or 20 seconds, just enough time to cause one to think, do I really need to or want to execute this transaction? I also think it's appropriate to discuss the use of mobile trading apps with a trusted financial professional who can help weigh the advantages and disadvantages, the different features and capabilities of the apps, and what, if any, role they should play within your overall financial plan.
That's absolutely right there. Brady, thank you for sharing your insights on this subject, and we always appreciate your time. And of course, to learn more about Endeavor Private Wealth, visit EndeavorPW.com.